Tonight on CTV News at 6. North Bay police arrest a 24-year-old man for reportedly trying to abduct a child in the middle of the afternoon. Plus massive upgrades for Sault Ste. Marie steel tube making operations.
This investment will expand production, extend the range of made in Canada products.
Both the federal and provincial governments pledging over $70 million today in investments. And North Bay police are breaking out a new tool targeting distracted driving.
One of your first indicators or signs are people with the head down.
It involves transit and catching drivers who don't have their eyes on the road.
CTV News at 6 with Tony Rimo and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Tony is off. A 24-year-old North Bay man is facing serious charges, including assault for what police say was the attempted abduction of a child. The incident in question happening yesterday afternoon in the area of Marshall Park and LaBreche Drives. According to police, a young person was with a parent when the accused approached the child, attempting to abduct them. Investigators say the two are not known to each other. The man quickly fled and was arrested a short distance away in the 500 block of Lakeshore Drive. One person has died following a single vehicle crash on Highway 400. According to the OPP, it happened around 2:30 this morning on a northbound exit ramp to Highway 559 in Carling Township. No other details have so far been released. The highway was closed several hours for the investigation. Over $300 million worth of investment is coming to steel tube making operations in Sault Ste. Marie. As CTV's Courtney Nordstrom explains, Timmins will be set up for new work and new jobs over the next 2.5 years.
Both the federal and provincial governments will be providing over $70 million for upgrades at the Sault Ste. steel plant. With investment from the company itself, a total of $306 million will transform the facility over the next 30 months.
This investment will expand production, extend the range of made in Canada products, and maximize productivity through the installation of new state-of-the-art equipment. When this project is complete, we will have enhanced our production capacity significantly, nearly doubling the OCTG and line pipe production that will help unleash the value of energy across all regions in Canada.
The company has been in the Sault for over 25 years, specializing in steel tube used in major fuel projects across the country.
Timmins is the only manufacturer in the country capable of producing the steel pipes needed for Canada's oil and gas industry. And this kind of Ontario-made manufacturing is more important than ever before.
These funds are allowing the steel company's portfolio to expand, reaching new markets and further strengthening its ties to communities like the Sault.
The project will have nearly $500 million in economic impact. It will increase production by 78% and also productivity by 36%. So that's good news. And also it will be developing new types of products.
Today's investment will not only help maintain the current Timmins workforce of over 800 in the Sault, but allow the company to create 200 new permanent positions, mostly in the finishing department of their steelmaking operations. Courtney Nordstrom, CTV News, Sault Ste. Marie.
Sudbury residents might have noticed a little shake, rattle, and roll last night over the dinner hour. According to Valet, around 5:22 p.m., Garson experienced a seismic event that was 3.3 in magnitude. All employees are said to be safe and accounted for. We're learning more about a hoarding situation in Sudbury where 27 dogs were rescued from an apartment. PetSafe says the animals who came in skittish and untrusting are now making great progress. CTV's Elena Everson reports.
These are the parents of 3 litters of puppies that were all rescued by PetSafe. Mukwa and Shadow have now been spayed and neutered and will be returned to their owner.
We responded to the call and, started to engage with the gentleman and just talk to him about overpopulation, what his plans were for these animals. He was definitely in trouble, so we just reached out to say, let's work it out.
Pissot says pet hoarding is a growing problem and that people need to ask for help before situations become overwhelming, resulting in neglect.
You can imagine going into a 2-bedroom apartment with 27 dogs and 25 of those being puppies. You can imagine the conditions. And, you know, those are challenging. I mean, that would be hard for our shelter staff to maintain that in a small space, let alone, you know, an individual who works and you know, has to come home and deal with the care level that they require.
Passat says the youngest litter was sent to Throw Me a Bone Canada in Parry Sound. Right now, animal care attendants at PetSave are working with the 9 to 10-month-olds, building trust, TLC, and socialization.
When these dogs came in, they were terrified. They'd never gone outside before. So we have to take our time with them, and we just have to make sure we're going at their pace. Lots of treats, lots of praise.
Ulrich says there's a big difference in just a week, from barking and hiding at the sight of people to now building social skills. They are also seeing grass for the first time.
It's incredibly heartwarming. We are so happy for them, so proud of them. They're going to have great lives when they're done here.
Officials with PetSave say the cost to care for the dogs rescued in this hoarding situation alone is over $25,000. The dogs will be available for adoption with spay and neuter once they are properly socialized. Alana Everson, CTV News, Lively.
North Bay police are looking at new ways to crack down on distracted driving. It's part of a new multi-year traffic management and safety plan that lists distracted driving as one of its 6 priority safety concerns. CTV's Eric Tashner reports.
North Bay Police will have a new 60-day strategy. It's called Operation Busted. An officer will board a city bus where they will have a better vantage point of drivers using cell phones from below the sight line, like on their lap, which makes it difficult to catch.
One of your first indicators or signs are people with the head down. Usually when they're stopped at stop signs or traffic lights, it's usually when they'll access their devices.
According to the North Bay Police, the number of deaths from distracted driving are on track to double the number of fatalities related to impaired driving. Police data finds over the last 5 years, distracted driving was a factor in 40% of the fatal and injury collisions.
It has been an issue for us, and it continues to be an issue.
There's youth, there's elderly, there's all kinds of people who use our streets, and we want to make sure that, you know, when you're operating a motor vehicle, you're also taking that responsibility.
If the officer sees the violation while aboard, they'll radio ahead to another police officer following behind the bus, who can then pull the driver over.
Because distracted driving laws have been around for so long, we're going to take a zero tolerance approach.
A first-time conviction carries a $650 fine if the case is settled out of court. If it goes to court and the driver is found guilty, the fine can go up to $1,000 with 3 demerit points and a 3-day license suspension.
Decisions that you make when you're in a motor vehicle, you know, good decisions will save lives. And ultimately, again, road safety is everybody's responsibility.
Setting your GPS before you get going, putting your phone in the glove box on silent, or maybe putting your purse in the trunk if that's where you keep your phone.
The report also found nearly 3 out of 4 Canadians admit to having been distracted while behind the wheel, and that distracted drivers pose the #1 risk on Canadian roads, contributing to 8 of every 10 collisions. Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
Recreation and cultural centers are getting a $500,000 boost from the province. The announcement today will support upgrades to the local library, museum, and recreation center. The library and museum will see new lighting and flooring. The library will also see new accessible features, including upgrades to the washrooms and a new accessible conference room. The Port Quest Recreation Center will be upgrading eaves troughs, snow guards, and furnaces, among other renovations.
It is a boost of morale for the whole community. And like you say, we're getting Monteith Road done too. That's another $20 million investment. Municipal Road, Highway 67, we're working on the funding for that too. It's almost there. And, you know, it's a lot going on for the community. We never saw this kind of money before. And the networking we were doing, that relationship we built over the years and all the delegations and all that stuff is starting to pay off for the community. And
the Ontario government says it's prioritizing investments through the NOHFC that protect northern industries and jobs. Time for our first check on weather. With more, let's go to CTV's Rick Wyman. And Rick, I know there's a lot of people hoping for some good-looking weather this weekend.
Well, they'll get some, but not all. We do have the chance of showers in our forecast, as I alluded to last hour. Our systems map courtesy of Environment Canada. It's kind of sneaking in by late tomorrow afternoon and evening. Some precipitation Saturday around past supper time, then creeping into Sunday morning as well. So chances of precipitation much better on Sunday at 60%, 40%, 30% late tomorrow afternoon and early evening. So again, it'll start off sunny, then increasing cloud, and again, so that's our story. We'll also take a look at a really good looking Northeastern Ontario current temperature forecast, Ian, because it's a great night to kick off the weekend. Back to you.
Looking forward to tonight for sure. Thanks so much, Rick. There's more to come on CTV News at 6. For now, let's go to a live shot of the International Bridge. This shot courtesy of bridge authorities into Ste. Marie, where a pair of peregrine falcons have returned to nest on the bridge. Mama peregrine has seemed to have flown the coop for the moment, but there are some little ones pretty much taking shelter and cuddling with each other. They have also hatched these little chicks on the Canadian side. Those are Canadian birds. Stay with us. There's more to come. You're watching CTV Northern Ontario.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Sudbury City Council is set to review a final recommendation to transform Lively's Anderson Farm Park. The proposed four-season site is intended to replace the public recreation space lost when the city sold Meatbird Lake Park 5 years ago. While the design includes walking trails, winter skating, and a community sauna, the project follows years of public debate. The plan relies on $4 million from that sale, but staff note that rising costs mean additional city investments will be required.
The estimate is in the over $7 million range, which is one of the reasons why it has to go through a budget cycle to be approved at next year's budget officially. But through talking with Parks and Recreation staff and Economic Development, they feel that this is such a good amenity for the people of Lively and something that the whole city will be able to enjoy.
I'm just encouraged that, elements that we would want to see in there were addressed, right? So the agricultural, the themes, the infrastructure improvements, those are all things that we at the Heritage Society are very, very happy with.
Council will vote on whether to approve the location and the updated funding model at its meeting Tuesday. Inclusion was the topic of discussion at an event in Greater Sudbury today to help mark Community Living Month. CTV's Angela Campbell reports.
If everyone buys in and everyone does their part, I think there'll be a lot of good change for the better.
Local entrepreneur Ryan Benoit was one of 5 panelists speaking at an event focused on inclusion. It was organized by Community Living Greater Sudbury.
To really come together and say, how can we find innovative and some solutions to community inclusivity? What can we do better? How can we build our strengths, and how can we make Sudbury a role model of inclusivity across the province?
I think it was a great turnout. I think having events like this, it's extremely important to kind of spread the word and give people a different perspective and share stories.
Along with Benoit, panelists included Sudbury Mayor Paul Lefebvre and Sudbury MPP Jamie West, as well as advocates Kevin Cooper from Sudbury Community Service Centre and Jackie Belaney from Sudbury District Restorative Justice.
People are not just invited into spaces, but they're genuinely valued and heard. And that they're able to participate with dignity, voice, and belonging.
The event was moderated by Sudbury Member of Parliament Vivian Lapointe, who was the Executive Director of CLGS prior to her political role.
The work that you do is seen and it is valued.
The audience also had a chance to ask questions, plus the conversation continued afterwards while everyone enjoyed coffee and pastries. The coffee chat in Sudbury was part of Community Living Month. The province-wide awareness campaign celebrates inclusion, belonging, and the achievements of people with intellectual disabilities. Angela Gamble, CTV News, Sudbury.
DIY Community Health Timmins is raising awareness about the challenges Indigenous youth face when they leave their home communities to attend school in larger centers. Pat Etherington and volunteers with DIY Community Health Timmins have spent the past 3 days walking from the mutual aid site to Gillies Lake, and plan to continue the walks throughout the summer. The walks also aim to raise awareness of the Wake the Giant event in Thunder Bay and the symbolism of the sleeping giant rock in Lake Superior. Organizers say the campaign is calling for urgent action to better support Indigenous youth attending school away from their homes and families.
We've lost a lot of our young people in regards to the street life when they end up staying here or having issues within their own lives and pertaining to the street life, homelessness, and so on.
Walkers are also encouraging people in all treaty areas to participate in their own communities by committing to walk each day in solidarity. Back now for a check on the current conditions with Rick Wyman. Rick, it sounds like we've got rain on the way.
Yes, we do. Late tomorrow afternoon, early evening, and carrying over into Sunday. Satellite radar, as you can clearly see right now, Ian, looking awfully good. No precipitation for today or this evening. That's another story tomorrow that I'll get into with the 7-day forecast. Now our current temperatures, here we go. Moosonee 12 degrees, sunshine there. Cochrane, sun and cloud 17. Timmins, sun and cloud 19, and Kapuskasing 20 with the sunshine. Chapleau 19, sunny skies. Wawa 15, sun. We've got Sault Ste. Marie 16 with the sunshine as well. In Parry Sound, some sun and cloud and 20 this hour. In North Bay, sunshine and 18, Temiskaming Shores 19 and 20, mainly sunny in Kirkland Lake this hour. 19, Greater Sudbury, we've got just a tinge of some cloud at times, 19. 17, Espanola, sun and cloud. Elliott Lake 16, sunshine, and Gore Bay 16 with the sunshine as well. 7-day forecast, we'll get into some of those details, Ian, as to what we can expect this weekend, and also give you a tip right now that we've got some warmer temperatures by, I guess, midweek with more sunshine. Back to you.
Well, that's something to look forward to. Thanks, Rick. And a quick heads up for drivers in the Sudbury area this weekend. The Sudbury Rocks Marathon gets underway Sunday morning, and it's going to lead to several closures in the downtown core, New Sudbury, and the Middle Lake areas. Drivers are being asked to slow down, stay patient, and remain alert for all runners and walkers. Next on CTV News at 6. Canada comes down hard, condemning the treatment of Canadians involved in the flotilla in Israel. And Ottawa continues to walk a tightrope as the Alberta referendum fallout grows. Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand providing an update this morning on the Canadians who were part of a flotilla that was intercepted by Israel. Anand saying the Canadians are now in Turkey. In an updated statement posted overnight, Anand says she has received information from her officials detailing the, quote, appalling abuse of Canadians who were detained in Israel. The minister adds Canada unequivocally condemns the grave mistreatment of Canadians in Israel. Those responsible for this egregious abuse must be held accountable. Activists say 12 Canadians were part of a flotilla that included hundreds of people and 41 boats. They were trying to break Israel's blockade of Gaza in order to bring humanitarian aid to the region. Israel's treatment of the flotilla members while detained caused an international outcry, including from Prime Minister Mark Carney, who called it, quote, unacceptable. The World Health Organization has declared the Ebola outbreak in Congo and Uganda to be a public health emergency of international concern. Officials also say the outbreak in Congo is spreading rapidly.
We're now revising our risk assessment to very high at the national level, high at the regional level, and low at global level.
The risk within the Democratic Republic of Congo, as previously considered high. The WHO says 82 cases of Ebola have been confirmed in Congo, with 7 confirmed deaths. The agency also notes there are now almost 750 suspected cases and 177 suspected deaths in total, though the situation in neighboring Uganda is considered stable. Supplies are also being rushed to Congo, where the illness has been spreading for weeks. The WHO says the situation in neighboring Uganda is stable. Countries around the world are now racing to contain the spread and ensure that air travel is blocked from that part of the world. Alberta Premier Danielle Smith was speaking to reporters today after announcing people in her province will vote on whether or not to hold a referendum about separating from Canada. As CTV's Rachel Aiello tells us, federal leaders and other premiers are stressing the importance of a unified nation.
Facing the prospect of Albertans voting to separate from Canada. Today, the Prime Minister said the country, much like the Parliament Hill renovations he toured, is a work in progress.
Canada's working. We're working in a spirit of cooperative federalism to make the country better. We're renovating the country as we go, and Alberta being at the center of that is essential.
The question Albertans will be asked on October 19th is a wordy one. Should Alberta remain a province of Canada, or should the government of Alberta commence the legal process required under the Canadian Constitution to hold a binding provincial referendum on whether or not Alberta should separate from Canada? Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre said he and his party will fight for a united country.
We're going to reach out to Albertans in every corner of the province to make the case for our wonderful country, and we're going to do it through hope. We want Albertans to understand that they can have an even better future in our country.
While Premier Danielle Smith has insisted she's committed to a united country, the NDP Seoul Alberta MP accused her of stoking division.
She made a choice to put that referendum question on the ballot, and I think it's a huge, huge mistake. This is not what Albertans need right now.
The Premier of Canada's most populous province also didn't hold back.
I'd never do it. Premier Smith knows how I feel. She wants to, I guess, protect her 30% base. It's not going to win as far as I'm concerned. It'd be a disaster for Alberta.
The federal opposition voices we heard from today said that while all sides need to fight for Alberta to stay, Ottawa also has to swiftly address Albertans' legitimate economic concerns beyond building a pipeline, because much like the Centre Block renovations, that is going to take years to complete. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
Large streamers such as Disney+, Netflix, and Prime Video will be expected to spend more of their revenue on Canadian content. That's according to new requirements set out by the CRTC, the country's telecom regulator. CTV's Abigail Beeman has more on what it could mean for Canada-U.S. trade talks.
This will triple the amount of money streaming companies will have to pay when some are already battling the current rules in court, and the whole issue is a thorn in the side of Canada-U.S. trade talks. As part of an effort to bring broadcasting rules into the digital age, the Canadian Radio, Television and Telecommunications Commission says digital streaming giants such as Netflix and Disney will have to pay 15% of their Canadian revenue to support programming in this country. That was previously set at 5%, but no one has benefited from the money, which is sitting in trust while the streamers fight the decision in court. Meanwhile, the Trump administration has long railed against the Online Streaming Act, calling it a trade irritant on a list of contentious issues ahead of a July 1st deadline for a review of the Canada-U.S.-Mexico free trade deal. As for traditional private broadcasters, including CTV News, the CRTC has lowered the amount to 25% of revenues with a whole host of new rules about how that money is spent. The old amount was between 30 and 45%. Abigail Beeman, CTV News.
In the U.S., the Pentagon has unveiled another batch of its so-called UFO files as part of a rolling release of once classified material ordered to be made public by President Donald Trump. Friday's release includes more than 50 previously classified videos and documents related to UFOs. So far, the Pentagon has released more than 200 files on unidentified flying objects, a topic that's long captured public fascination. This week comes 2 weeks after the Department of War released the first batch of files from various federal agencies dating back to the late 1940s, which have already been viewed more than 1 billion times worldwide. There's more news ahead, but first here's your full weather forecast with Rick Wyman.
It's the moment of decision, the weekend forecast, Ian. People are just wondering what's happening. Rick, what's going on? Forecast radar, you'll find out momentarily. Here we go with a system, low pressure system moving in. Started off in Colorado, home of the Avalanche, by the way, and moved up through Minnesota and into the Great Lakes area. This is what we got by about 7 o'clock Sunday morning. So showers late in the afternoon or early evening for tomorrow, at least 30-40%. then 60% chance of shower activity come Sunday. So again, we'll have to deal with that. Clear skies pretty well throughout northeastern Ontario. No complaints about the temperature either. So again, clear skies for tonight, and that trend even continues Moosonee right through to Parry Sound. Now, let's have a peek at your temperatures and your expectations. Sudbury, Nickel Belt, chance of showers late tomorrow afternoon or early evening, 20 your high, 60% chance Sunday, 13. Monday, 24, nice day. Tuesday, chance of showers, the odd sunny break, 23. Now the good news, 29 Wednesday, Thursday, sunshine both days, and of course, well above normal by about 10 degrees. I like that. Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma, chance of showers for tomorrow, 18. Again, later on during the day. Sunday, we've got chance of showers. Monday, chance of showers. Tuesday, chance of showers. But for residents in the Sault and Algoma, great news here. 27 degrees Wednesday and Thursday with the sunshine again above normal for this time of the year. Timmins, Cochrane campus casing, sunshine tomorrow, 23. Chance of showers Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Okay, 17, 23, 22. Those are nice temperatures for this time of the year. But they get even better Wednesday, Thursday. We've got sun and cloud, 26 and 25. Aren't these the temperatures that you've been hoping for the last little while? People asking me, when is it going to warm up? Temiskaming Shores and Kirkland Lake, sunny skies for tomorrow, 20. Chance of showers Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Pretty good bet there on Sunday at 13, 25 and 28 Monday, Tuesday. Then 28, 27 Wednesday and Thursday. So again, people, the sun worshippers really in Temiskaming Shores and Kirkland Lake will like Wednesday and Thursday of next week. And again, well above normal for this time of the year. Then there's North Bay and West Nipissing. Chance of showers tomorrow, of course, at 40%. Later on during the day, 20 your high, 14 on Sunday, 60% chance of showers. That's pretty well the story across the Northeast. Monday, sun and cloud, 21. Chance of showers Tuesday, 24. Then again, 27 and 26 Wednesday, Thursday with the sunshine. Normally, you should be hitting at about 20. So again, you'll like those temperatures. So wait for the rain to pass. You'll get some sunshine. Warmer temperatures. Lillian Pakula with that pick of the day, if you will, right now. She's our director this evening. Brian Luck. This is the backyard hummingbird from North Bay. Great shot there, Brian. I love it. Keep it up. I think my wife is watching. She's a big fan of hummingbirds, too. Stick around. We've got more news coming up after the break.
It's an investigation that could change how you travel. A W5 investigation is exposing how passengers are unwittingly helping traffickers move massive quantities of drugs through Canadian airports. Avery Haynes joins us now to talk about the startling discovery that organized crime is infiltrating airport staff. Avery, I've got to tell you, this is going to give me pause the next time I check baggage. You compiled the first publicly available data on how often bag tag switching occurs. What have you learned and how does the scheme work?
Okay, first I'll start with how the scheme works. I brought this, anyone who travels knows that this is what goes on your luggage when you check in. And then you watch your bag go into the conveyor belt and into the airport and you don't think about it again. What we have uncovered is that in blind spots back in those parts of the airport that we don't go to, corrupt airport employees have simply removed the tag off your bag and then put this tag with your name on it onto a bag of drugs. Then both of those suitcases go on the plane and to the destination. And if all goes as planned for the corrupt employees, somebody on that other end picks up the bag of drugs. You go and you see your bag there in the carousel. Maybe it doesn't have a tag on. Maybe it's got a rush tag on it, and you carry on with your vacation. But what we've learned is that 17 Canadian passengers over this past year have had the drugs intercepted somewhere along the way, and they've been accused in countries like the Dominican Republic, the Philippines, Korea, accused of being drug smugglers because the bag of drugs has their name on it.
Well, you've spoken to security whistleblowers. What are they telling you about the extent of organized crime at these airports?
Through those whistleblowers, as well as police sources and intelligence documents and court documents that we've seen, we know that at Pearson Airport, where 16 of those 17 bag tag switching incidents happened, there are major organized crime groups that are operating, the Hells Angels, Mafia, Asian crime groups, as well as Mexican cartels, by paying off corrupt employees in order to do this bag tag switching, but also to take drugs off planes and get them out onto the streets. And some of our whistleblowers have spoken about how the security for airport workers when they're leaving is almost non-existent. One ramp worker who works at Pearson says they have a joke at the airport that he could walk out carrying a cruise missile and no one would know about it. The vast majority of people who work at airports in this country are honest, hardworking people, but all it takes is a couple of corrupt employees to make the difference between your vacation and your freedom.
That's just incredible. I'm down to the last minute or so, but what are some of the solutions being presented? How do we fix this, and how do travelers protect themselves?
So there's a call for a major overhaul of security for employees, the same way there has been post 9/11 for travelers, that the security measures that travelers have gone through, the same thing needs to now happen for employees. From just the bag tag switching example, there are a couple of things that you can do to try to protect yourself, and mostly it's just to compile evidence. So when you're at the airport about to fly, make sure that you get video or a photograph of you at the airport with your bag and your tag, preferably as it's being weighed to show the weight of your bag as well, so that if you are ever accused of smuggling drugs with a bag that is not yours, you can say, no, look, this is what my bag looks like. Also using air tags in your luggage so that you can show where your bag actually is. Some people I've heard are actually stapling the tags once they're put on their luggage so that if anyone tries to remove it, it would be more difficult to put onto a drug bag.
Great advice for sure. Avery, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Avery Haynes, make sure to catch the CTV News Investigative Unit W5 and it's a 1-hour special Traffic to the Airport Conspiracy tomorrow night at 7 here on CTV. You can live stream over YouTube or watch it on Crave. The Beef and Bird is nearing its 50th year in Sudbury. However, the restaurant is also listed for sale.
It's like anything else. You know, we're all getting older in age. The business deserves to have young people involved, handled with kid gloves, and it's just, you know, it's just time to pass it on.
The restaurant, known for its porchetta bingo, says it's loyal to Sudburyans and everything will stay the same while it's on the market. The Beef and Bird is listed for just under $1.7 million, and Tom Pizzini says all the memorabilia inside is included in the price tag. Last night marked a who's who of the sporting and political world in Sudbury as the community gathered for an open house at the Top Glove Boxing Academy. CTV's Madison Merrier reports.
Top Glove Boxing has been in the community for decades.
I just thought about developing boxers and athletes and citizens, and all of a sudden we're at 36 and what the heck?
And many of the people we spoke with say it changed their lives.
It forces everybody to kind of consider for at least a moment, maybe they could be better in some other capacity, physically, mentally, spiritually, whatever. Boxing opens that door for people.
For me personally, I love coming here because boxing is my passion, and it's really hard to think of anything else except for saying I love boxing.
The gym offers different programs, which Apollini says is to help develop better citizens in the community, but in turn has made people want to pursue boxing on a higher level.
I just like being with everyone here, the development, the community.
My goal is to go pretty high in this sport. I love it a lot. I want to succeed in this.
Top Glove also offers programs for adults like Amber Conoco, who began boxing when she was 27, and by her early 30s, she reached nationals.
There's some things that I never thought that I can actually do, and he saw that in me, and we worked on that. And next you know it, I'm winning.
Apolloni says his next hurdle is to find a successor for the gym, as he has been boxing for 55 years. Madison Merrier, CTV News, Sudbury.
Still ahead on CTV News at 6. A big night for Canadian hockey fans. The Canadians take Game 1 of their series against the Carolina Hurricanes. An inaugural group of Northern Ontario hockey fixtures were honored tonight. As CTV's Corey Nordstrom tells us, the first ever Hockey North Hall of Fame aimed at highlighting those who aren't always front and center for recognition, but play big roles in the regional and local hockey scenes.
It was a casual affair meant to honor some hardcore hockey contributors in the region. The inaugural Hockey North Hall of Fame saw 30 Northerners recognized for their contributions, an effort organized by longtime Sioux sports writer Randy Russin.
Not a lot of under-the-radar people get recognized for their contributions over many years. It just seemed to be a lot of higher profile people who got recognized.
Among those recognized, coaches, players, builders of all kinds, representing leagues from across the north.
I owe my life almost to hockey, besides my wife and my children, but hockey's been fantastic for me, and a lot of success, and I can't say enough.
What is special about this induction is that it's my own people. It's Northern Ontario, where I was born and raised, and to be recognized by your own peers is really something very special.
5 media members also made up the first edition of the Hall of Fame, including CTV's very own Tony Rima.
When you're bringing sports and highlights and information to people, maybe it's the first time they're hearing it. It really brings community together, whether it be large or small.
The banners carrying the names of each Hall of Fame member are going to be hung in the Machine Shop's Steamfitters Lounge, and Russin hopes to recognize many more in years to come.
We're going to put nominations out and ask people to nominate people who they feel are worthy, who've been involved in the game since 1975.
An event like this today, you see all the great people that have involved and put, countless hours into, whether it's coaching, running teams, buying teams, all these people. If it wasn't for this group, there probably wouldn't be very much hockey in Northern Ontario.
Corey Nordstrom, CTV News, Sault Ste. Marie.
The Montreal Canadiens handing the Carolina Hurricanes their first defeat of the NHL playoffs. The Habs convincingly taking Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Final.
Aho, and Jarvis on the ice. Scores!
The Canes scored just 33 seconds into the game, but the Canadiens answered with 4 quick goals to take a 4-1 lead into the second period. The Canadiens held off the Hurricanes for the remaining 40 minutes, downing them 6-2.
It was a great start by the guys, obviously, to battle back after that first shift, being down 1, and it's a great effort to get that much of a lead.
The Hurricanes were coming off the longest rest before starting the next playoff round for an NHL team since at least 1920. Game 2 is Saturday night in Raleigh, North Carolina. A massive weekend on tap for race car fans. The Canadian Grand Prix is this weekend in Montreal. Formula One diehards got a behind the sneak peek at the cars that will take to the circuit Gilles Villeneuve for Sunday's race.
I mean, the amount of detail and effort goes into each car is just crazy. So to see it up close and the mechanics working is, it's really cool.
Just an amazing look into the pits and close up, things you don't even see on TV long enough to focus in on it. So it's been very amazing.
This year, organizers are combining the race weekend with a festival experience, including a concert featuring Simple Plan and Bryan Adams. Stephen Colbert signed off for a final time last night after 11 seasons behind the desk of The Late Show.
I'll say to you what I've said to every audience for the last 11 years, and I have meant it every time. Have a good show. Thanks for being here. And let's do it, y'all.
Last summer, CBS announced the show would be ending, citing economic reasons. However, some critics, including Colbert himself, questioned whether political pressure played a role, as Colbert has been a vocal opponent of U.S. President Donald Trump. Paul McCartney performed as part of the finale in the same theater where the Beatles made their U.S. debut on The Ed Sullivan Show in 1964.
You say goodbye when I say hello.
McCartney performed in the Ed Sullivan Theater with the Beatles in 1964. He helped close the show with the song Hello Goodbye. Then it was lights out. The Late Show has been on CBS for 33 years, starting with host David Letterman.
When our interview starts.
The return of a Schwarzenegger classic and an Oscar winner returns to comedy. Here's David Daniel with our Hollywood Report.
Who sent you?
You did. 35 years from now, you reprogrammed me to be your protector here.
Terminator 2 Judgment Day is back for its 35th anniversary. The classic science fiction action flick returns to theaters Friday for a limited release in 4 formats: original 35 and 70 millimeter prints and 4K and 3D digital restorations.
Come with me if you want to live.
I liked particularly that it's comedy.
Julianne Moore has more comedy in store. Variety reports the Oscar winner is set to executive produce and star in a new comedy film for Netflix. It's described as a multi-generational story like Moore's Crazy Stupid Love, in which her character is so determined to keep her daughter from moving across the country, she desperately tries to find her an ideal romantic partner to keep her at home. No word yet on a title or co-stars. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Here's a look at some of today's business headlines. Tim Hortons says franchise owners are investing $165 million to build new stores and renovate existing ones across Ontario. 26 new locations are expected to open this year, including a new store in Matheson. Another 188 locations will be renovated this year, including 6 locations in the Northeast. The company says this investment will support local economies and Canadian supply chains. Canadian retail sales continue to rise, but surging gasoline prices appear to be increasingly eating into household budgets. An advance estimate from Statistics Canada suggests receipts for retailers rose 0.6% in April, following a 0.9% increase the previous month. Gas and fuel retailers inflated the increase. Without them, retail sales dropped 0.2% in March. Kevin Warsh has been sworn in as the new chair of the U.S. Federal Reserve. Warsh says he'll lead a reform-oriented Fed, adding that goals will be pursued with resolve. U.S. President Donald Trump says America's future is unlimited with Warsh at the helm, and highlighted that he wants Warsh to be completely independent. Some of the changes Warsh has promised for the central bank includes shrinking its balance sheet and establishing a new framework for analyzing inflation. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is down a penny to 72 cents. West Texas Intermediate is up a quarter to 96.60. Western Canadian Select is up 61 to 78.22, and the TSX gained 61.88 points today, now sitting at 34,471.36. And here are the current prices for some key commodities we also watch. Gold down $32, ending the day at $45.1050 U.S. an ounce. Silver down $1.16 to end the day at $75.51. Copper down 2 cents, $6.10, and nickel down a penny, ending the day at $8.43 U.S. a pound. Rick is back now for one last look at the weather.
Well, you've asked about the sunshine countless times tonight, Ian. So we're going to start off with sunshine tomorrow morning. Increasing cloud late in the afternoon, 20, and of course showers. Timmins 23, sunny skies. Sault Ste. Marie, sun and cloud at 18. But again, we'll see increasing cloudiness over the course of the afternoon and some precipitation. Clouding over in North Bay midday, so to speak. Parry Sound, we've got mainly sunny 17 and 20 in Temiskaming Shores. Again, increasing cloud a little bit later on. So a good bet for shower activity on Sunday, but for tomorrow, late during the day or even as early as tomorrow evening. Ian?
Thanks, Rick. Finally, tonight it was a celebration of diversity in Sudbury last night as a school gym was transformed into a global marketplace. These were the sights and sounds of what's known as Multicultural Evening, hosted by École Publique Hélène Gravel. The event, organized by the school staff and parents, is in its 4th year. From Australia to Portugal, 11 families took part to share their cultures, flavors, and traditions.
My kids are in 2nd grade and in SK, and they talk about the diversity every day. The school really lets that shine, and we wanted to give an opportunity outside of regular school hours to let our families showcase their culture and their food and really let them shine tonight.
My husband is Lebanese, and I have the citizenship, and my kids too, and I went there 10 times, and I'm able to cook food from Lebanon, so I wanted to represent this country because it's part of who my kids are.
I'm representing Australia,
And I brought fairy bread. It's like bread, and there's butter on it with sprinkles.
We represent Kazakhstan, and the foods we brought were barsak, which is like a bun, traditional. And then we also brought honey cake.
Lebanese food is very traditional and very tasty, and I think people can't miss it. It's so good.
Looks like they had a great crowd. Officials say they hope the event only gets bigger in the years to come. That's our newscast this Friday night. Make sure to tune in to Amanda Hicks at 11:30 this evening, who's filling in for me. I'm off for a week and a half. I'll see everyone in June. Have a wonderful weekend. Thanks for watching. Good night.